Guess what? The goldfish attack is back. The company and police are teaming up, and Sean just spotted a marked location on the map. He picked up a pen and started drawing. He knew the route by heart. It was the annual vacation route for the goldfish, where all the attacks happened. Something must be stimulating the goldfish. Sean got a sudden idea, donned his wetsuit, and dived in after confirming they were napping. The sleeping goldfish floated in the water, looking like giant kites. Sean cautiously swam into the center to pick one out. He stuck a tiny camera on the goldfish, and the guy on the listening duty had some weird sounds. Turns out, all the goldfish woke up, and Sean knew it. He rushed out of the goldfish group, swam to the surface, and was pulled onto the boat by the two as he emerged. The goldfish began a death roll. A bit slower, and they'd die. Meanwhile, Hobo received another call from the company. The boss told Hobo they found some critters in the South China Sea, but they didn't pose any threat. Head swinged by to see if they could tap into some oil field. Laura was feeling down over Jude's mysterious death and wanted to know what sunk the ship. Thankfully, the lab had been looking for that wreck. The detective found the wreck and took photos. The professor called Laura to view them. The camera fell off the goldfish, and Sean found it on the surface, hurriedly returning to gather everyone around the computer. With Laura's help, they saw images of the wreck. Thinking about what you might have gone through made Laura tear up. As the camera zoomed in, Laura suddenly tensed up. A bizarre sight appeared behind the wreck, and Sean looked grave as the goldfish kept diving. Theoretically, and looking at the fish migration records, there was no reason for them to dive this deep. But the fish kept going deeper, and Sean spotted shimmering lights in the deep sea. In this dark abyss, it seemed someone actually lived there. In just 3 days, the film hit the web, surpassing the sci-fi blockbuster Species Season 4. The couple was playing poker on the beach when suddenly a tiny crab crawled up the girl's leg. She jumped, and the guy just laughed at her. The girl looked terrified into the distance as countless crabs crawled up the rocks. The guy quickly fired up the bike to escape, but the crabs were hot on their tail. In a great rush, the boy failed to notice his speed during the escape, and the motorcycle overturned when making a turn. Both of them fell to the ground, unable to get up, and as for the strange cries of the goldfish in the ocean that day. John discussed this with his colleagues. He recalled that goldfish had never behaved so oddly before, especially not at such depth. One colleague had a wild theory that it might be a secret weapon developed by the military. You never know. Goldfish hitting fishing boats and ships caused damage, but Sean didn't think so. He believed the military wouldn't test on innocent civilians. So Sean kept investigating to uncover the truth, and the Marine Lab had new findings. They discovered a new species of shellfish and the Queen of Japan, and when they uploaded their findings, they realized it was appearing elsewhere too. Such a sight was never seen before. Interestingly, white residue was on the shellfish. Subtitles analyses revealed the same substance in the brainstem of the stranded goldfish, but samples are fragile. If they could get more samples, researchers could figure out exactly what this stuff was. Sean drove to the office. Security was much tighter. After Sean identified himself, security blocked him. Sean thought on his feet and decided to sneak into the company at night. Unfortunately, just as he approached the container, the lights turned. Security spotted Sean, and he ended up cornered by the container. With no way out, he surrendered and was whisked away to talk to the man. After his explanation, the manager said no need. The top brass wanted a talk, hoping for his honest sharing. The call connected to Kita, who, learning of the new species and the Queen from Tokyo, swiftly sensed a problem with the navigation routes. He was willing to provide more samples, but he needed intel on other locations where the new species was found. After hanging up, Kita promptly called Kimura, suspecting recent oceanic upheaval due to the simultaneous appearance of ice worms and new shellfish. At that moment, Laura returned to her observation station. Upon waking, she checked her voicemail for messages from friends and colleagues, and surprisingly heard Ju's voice. She rushed back to her computer and saw Ju's last moments, tears streaming down her face as sorrow engulfed her thoughts. Pausing for a moment, Laura tried to calm her swelling emotions when she noticed something odd in the footage. She began to compare and zoom in on the clips, as if discovering a clue to her friend's death. Two guys in hazmat suits carefully opened the box, and to their surprise, it was filled with two adorable little crabs. The doctor, looking tense, opened the crab shells, expecting delicious crab roe, but found it filled with that mysterious white substance. Last episode, many fans in the comments mentioned these crabs, saying they weren't worth a second glance. Seeing those crabs left everyone scratching their heads, and the internet was buzzing with creative theories. The doctor took white matter from crabs, mixed it with human blood, and watched red blood cells dissolve rapidly in horror. Since these crabs were previously unknown, the doctor could only infer characteristics from their exterior. No eyes meant they lived underground, but with so many crabs surfacing now, it was a sign of some serious mutations going on. If these crabs roam on the surface, it's an incalculable deadly threat. Hobo analysed ice worm locations. The professor deemed it minor. But Hobo stressed that the situation was very grave. Ice worms could cause seabed collapses, and if coastal cities ran into trouble, many lives could be at stake. If those coastal areas collapsed, sea levels would rise, flooding inland until land was swallowed by the ocean. The professor next to him was skeptical, thinking Hobo was exaggerating. Then Laura called in about Hugh's email discovery, mentioning a peculiar flash before his death, and she noticed another detail.